There's an EV charging price war underway. Prices are crashing, yet Zapmap has not even spotted it. Nor obviously are the media reporting it. Are you paying 100% more than you need to? Yeah, double, twice, perhaps even more. Well, I'm Dave. Welcome to Dave Takes It On. If you go today onto Zapmap, check the June average price for EV public charging at a rapid or ultra-rapid charger. They quote 80 pence. Are they serious? They produce a top 10 of EV chargers on which they base that figure. Top 10 according to market share by number of public devices across the UK in June. Really? Well, let me challenge you head on. Where is Shell Recharge? I hate them, but where are they? They state themselves on the website they're aiming to be one of the UK's largest charging networks. Well, they obscure their actual figure, number of chargers, by adding in their favoured charger networks to quote access to over 30,000 chargers, but they themselves have something approaching 1,000 chargers. Certainly more than ESB Energy. Shell is not even in your list. So how about ESB Energy? No, I haven't heard of them either. Their website states we are continuing our rollout with 400 EV chargers to date. 400? And they're in your top 10? Whoa, Fastnet have almost as many, no mention of them. You do mention MFG with 500, yet you totally ignore EV Point with over 600. EV on the move, by the way. Again, not on your list. And you state GridServe at 79p, yet it was headline news a month ago that over the summer their app will drop prices to 63 pence for everyone. Tesla at 55p? Really? Where on earth did you get that from? I pay around 30p on average, and open to all prices are rarely above 45. Your figures are wildly misleading, and I'm shocked that our UK government uses your figures in their planning. Those figures are wrong. Let me bring you up to date. Shell Recharge do have their own network on their own petrol forecourts and numbering almost up towards 1,000. BP Pulse does not charge 79 pence. Today their price for ultra rapid is 83 pence pay as you go, or 85p for contactless. Oh yeah, they claim to have over 10,000 rapid chargers. GridServe dropped their prices for users of their app at all locations for 3 months, bringing their 79p down to 63p. EV Point, now renamed EV on the Move, they've got over 600, that's more than MFG, but they have a base price of 64 pence at all locations, always has had. Fastnet charges 69 without any membership, 48 with it. Ionity charges 74 without membership, 43 with it. But the big change that Zapmap makes absolutely no mention of is the supermarkets. Previously a multitude of motorway service stations, supermarkets, retail parks, fast food and coffee outlets simply rented out spaces on their forecourts or car parks to CPO, charge point operators, who charged whatever they wanted. But a few months ago that began to change. See, many have now ended those agreements as they've realised there's money to be made, and they've begun to operate their own chargers. They've bought them in, they've had them installed, they own them. They use electricity that's from their existing supply at their retail outlet or store, and they're really attractive rates. They're generally buying around about 20-25 pence. And they're now totally free to set their own prices. They could even sell at a loss if they chose to. Well, Westmoreland Charging was one of the first. They operate a number of motorway services on the M5, M6. They now buy and install their own Swarco units and charge a very reasonable 64 pence per kilowatt hour at all locations. Sainsbury's followed suit soon after, and they now operate Sainsbury's Charging, and that's priced at 65p with Nectar points. And they have the fantastic Kenn power chargers, which have built up a great reputation for power and reliability. Costco recently joined in. They're now charging 50 pence for rapid CCS2 chargers. You do need to become a member, just exactly the same as with their petrol. Well, lately Aldi joined the list. Although they've opted to stick with fast chargers, they're topping out at 22 kilowatts. However, many of those are still completely free to use, even today. Others around about 40 pence a kilowatt hour. All have a time limit, usually 90 minutes, but that equates to somewhere between 50 and 100 miles, depending on your car. But 90 minutes for 50 miles free, that's a really great deal. And now Lidl are getting rid of all Pod Point owned and operated chargers and installing their own, priced at a reasonable 62 pence if you go through their app, no membership required. Is anyone else noticing a trend? Zapmap quote 80 pence average price, yet Sainsbury's, Lidl, EV on the Move, Fastned, they're all well in the 60 pence range. Costco down at 50, Ionity 74, drops to 43 with membership. The list is endless, but it all seems to have passed Zapmap by without a mention. Sainsbury's are busily installing multiple chargers, as many as 10 units at many of their larger stores, and they have over 600 large stores. Well, 1,400 stores in total, including the small ones. But 600 stores, say 6 chargers each. That's 3,600. That's several orders of magnitude more than their number one on Zapmap, Instavolt. They have just 1,400. Surely Sainsbury's should get a mention? Well, for most people, that now means they have access to EV public charging, rapid or ultra-rapid chargers for an average price of around about 60 or 65 pence. And more supermarkets will definitely follow suit in due course. Tesco's are reported to be in the final stages, kicking out Pod Point and installing their own network. I've yet to see which they're choosing. And why not? See, supermarkets buy their petrol and diesel direct on the wholesale market, so why don't they buy the electricity and use them in their own chargers? And this is where it gets really interesting, because we've all seen the supermarket price wars when they began selling petrol. For years, the oil giants had a monopoly, Shell, BP, Esso and the like. Total monopoly and really high prices. Along came the supermarkets, they offered cheap prices, and lo and behold, the oil giants slashed their prices to compete or stay in business. Often the supermarkets slash their prices to attract customers to their stores, which is where they make the most profit. Could they cut EV charging prices down to cost to do exactly the same? Are we in for the same? But the Tesla prices on Zapmap, they really annoy me because they're just pure fiction. They quote 55p. Well, a quick survey today, I've checked a dozen superchargers that are open to all CCS2 equipped vehicles, i.e. non-Teslas, and the average price for arrive and charge without membership is about 40p. The highest I found today at Nottingham is 52p. Cheapest was Bristol, Lysander Road at 30p. Yeah, 30p. No membership, no payments, apart from your electricity. Just turn up, swipe your contactless, charge. And these prices reduce still further with membership. That 30p goes as low as 22 pence at Manchester Trafford Centre or Bristol Lysander Road and several others. 22 pence for ultra-rapid EV public charging. Zapmap, quote 80p. Average price. It's totally out of touch with the reality out there. Anyone paying more than 65 pence now is being ripped off royally. And really low price offerings are widely available, dropping that to well under 50 pence. And for the really adventurous, dedicated money savers, try those Tesla superchargers, which are open to all CCS2 EVs, because you get prices as low as 22 pence, but that's only between midnight and 4 a.m. But if you go between 4 a.m. and 10 p.m, it's 30p. There's a couple of exceptions. Keep away from the M5, Frankly Services, and Gloucester Services. They're outliers. But you're going to go and check your Aldi. A lot of those are still totally free. OK, it is only 90 minutes. It is 22 kilowatts. When most EVs can AC charge at no more than 11 kilowatts, it's totally free. I don't know many free petrols. No, I was going to say petrol. No, there are no free petrol stations anywhere, full stop. Well, the charging scene is evolving rapidly. Charge point operators charging 79.85 pence are now becoming as unwelcoming and unused as motorway services are for petrol and diesel users. EV drivers should avoid these like the plague. Without memberships, you should be paying no more than 65 pence anywhere throughout the UK, and around half that if you do some research and travel a few miles. But petrol owners already do that. Just for Leicester Mercury newspaper ran an article, gives a list of cheap petrol stations within 10 miles of Leicester. And they often have to queue up because they are so cheap, they have massive queues. Well, it's time the media began telling the truth. Stop the negative stories, people having to pay 85 pence per kilowatt hour. Get telling people you can charge at a multitude of public chargers for around 65p most places, and as low as 22 pence with a bit of effort, and totally free of charge at some places still today. At 50 mile per gallon at today's supermarket petrol prices, costs 13 pence to drive 1 mile. Buy your electricity at 30 pence a kilowatt hour, costs 7.5 pence to drive a mile. That's half the price of petrol. It's 1/3 the price of Instavolt, which works out at 22 pence a mile. Why don't we see this in your newspapers and your websites? Well, I predicted this war well over 6 months ago. Many doubted me, some ridiculed me quite openly. I've stuck to my guns. It has taken time, but the results are finally appearing. But it is only the start. The giants, Tesco and Asda, have not yet joined the fight. Stand by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour, as Troy said. Thanks for watching. I'm Dave. If you have enjoyed this, please click the like button. It really helps us with YouTube. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Click the notification. Will notify you every time we launch a video. And a massive thank you to our Patreon members. Without you, most of this would not be possible. Thanks very much. I'm Dave.